What's going on, good people? It's the poor black man. I respect your time and I respect your intelligence. We're here to talk about black marriage and some of the narratives that have been put out, which are actually untrue or only partially true. Okay? Before I get started, I want to ask you guys to like this video so that the YouTube algorithm will share this with more people because this information is very important and we really want to change the narrative. Please like this video. Also want to ask you to connect with me on Instagram because a lot of people have been asking how they can send me, topics to discuss or information that they find. You can hit me via email, but you can also hit me on Instagram. I'll put that information in the video description. All right. Top 4 myths about black marriage. All right. Number 1, black women don't marry. All right. And before we get into that, let me show you this graphic to give you a quick snapshot. Myth number 1, black women won't marry. That's untrue. 75% of black women marry before they turn the age 35. 75% of black women marry before they turn the age of 35. Myth number 2, rich black men marry outside of their race. That's a myth because 83% of married black men who make at least $100,000 are married to black women. So if black men making at least $100,000 are married to black women 83% of the time. Let me interject and say that your favorite YouTuber, Kevin Samuels, said that white women are stealing all the high value men. He said white women are stealing all the high value men, despite the fact that 83% of black men making $100,000 or more are married to black women. And number 3, educated black women have it harder. That's not true. Education increases the likelihood of marriage for both African American men and women. I'll show you where this information came from. All right, so this information came from a Dr. Ivory Tolson. He is a professor at Howard University, also a research analyst for the Congressional Black Caucus. All right, so what he did was he looked at the information that was put out from Yale University, and they found that only 42% of black women are married. He looked at the information and he found a fundamental flaw. The flaw was that they included all black women 18 and older. Now follow me for a second, because do you expect an 18-year-old black woman to be married? And I don't. In some cultures, that's common, but in black culture, do 18-year-old black women get married? Absolutely not. So when we raise the age, the numbers change drastically. The researcher found that 75% of black women marry before they turn 35 after examining census data from 2005 to 2009. He also found that black women in small towns have higher marriage rates than white women in urban centers such as New York. So a black woman in a small town in the rural South is more likely to be married than a white woman living in New York or Los Angeles. All right? Educated black women have it harder. Actually, they don't. 70% of college graduates are married by 40. These are black women. 70% of black women who graduate from college are married by the age of 40, whereas it's only 60% for black high school graduates. All right? It's the same for black men. In 2008, 76% of black men with a college degree married by the age of 40, in contrast to 63% of black men with just a high school diploma. Okay? Now, other myth, rich black men marry out. That is not true. 83% of married men who earned at least $100,000 annually married black women. This is the same case for black men of all incomes. Even if we take income out of the equation, 88% of married black men have black wives. 88%. What is 88%? Let me show you what 88% looks like. This is what 88% looks like. 88% of black men marry black women, and 83% of black men who make 100K or more are married to black women. So what about the rich black men? Because we know 100,000 is not rich. What I did was I took some of the most visible and successful black men in the United States that we all know. These are celebrity basketball players. They make a lot of money, more than NFL players, more than black players in Major League Baseball. So let's look at the top 10. The top 10 earners in the NBA. They're all black men. And let's see who they're married to. Stephen Curry. He is married to Ayesha Curry. Chris Paul, number 2. Second highest paid player. He is married to a sister as well. Russell Westbrook, the third highest player in the NBA at $41 million a year. Drum roll. He is married to a sister as well. James Harden is not married, so we won't include him. John Wall is not married. We won't include him. Kevin Durant is not married. We will not include him. LeBron James is married, and who is he married to? His high school sweetheart, who happens to be a sister. Are you still with me? Blake Griffin is not married. Paul George is not married. Klay Thompson is not married. You can look at who they're dating, who they're sleeping with, whatever, but we are talking about marriage. Of the top 10, the highest paid players in the NBA who are married, all of them are married to black women. But they want you to believe that successful black men only marry white women. Come on now, stop playing with the poor black man. Can you guys stop playing with the poor black man? If you're looking for some foolishness, some weak data, some weak stat, go over there with Kevin Samuels and them, cause I'm telling you the truth over here. 88% of black men are married to black women. So let's stop it. And 83% of black men making 100K and up are married to black women. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. All right? I think I'm done. Well, let's hit on one. Let's hit on one last metric, the metric or the argument that black men don't earn as much as black women. Unfortunately, it's not true. Black women are more likely to graduate from college than black men, but unfortunately, black men are still making more money. And I say unfortunately because although we believe that education is the road to a higher income, that's not always the case. We are still living in a patriarchal society. Some would argue that men do different jobs that earn or that pay more, and that's the reason why. But I would also say that there is a pay disparity, gender discrimination, up and down. We all know it's there. We all know it's there. Men make more than women. All right. I think we're done here. I'll play a quick video clip from the gentleman who did the research. He's talking for about 2 minutes. If you guys want to stick around and listen to him speak. And I will see you guys on the next one. Please like this video, subscribe, dislike this video, Do what you got to do. But understand that I'll put all of the links to these articles in the description so you can look at the information for yourself. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to lie to you. I don't want your money. I'm not here for that. I came to YouTube to tell the truth. This is the Poor Black Man. I respect your time. I respect your intelligence. Check out the rest of this video. I'll see you on the next one. Y'all stay blessed.
Well, the reality is that marriage rates are going down. They are going down for everyone. Marriage is less among people who live in urban areas, people who have lower levels of education, and people who have lower income. Black people are overrepresented in those categories. There was a figure of 42 to 43% of black women who have never been married, and that was a prevailing stat that was being put out there. But if you really examine how they derived that number, they looked at all women 18 and up. And so there are very few 18-year-olds who get married. So anytime when we look 18 and up and use a figure based on that and include a lot of women who we really don't expect to be married, it can skew the numbers. I think one of the more manipulative things that the media has done is they've made this issue about educated black women. And to do that, you have to ignore a pretty compelling, straightforward, and convincing stat that shows that black women who are educated are the most likely to be married. And the black women who are less educated, the ones who have dropped out of high school, they are the least likely to be married. Something not helpful or productive at all to tell young black females, out of high school or in college, that your education is going to somehow compete against your chances of getting married. I think that's by far one of the more insulting and damaging stats that we've put out there. That's not correct at all. There are less black people being married now than ever before. And if that's something that you care about, you should look at it as not just a black woman issue, but a black people issue. I do believe that we need to talk about marriage in a way that's balanced, not in a way that's divisive, not in a way that pits black women against white women or black men against black women. But it really should be about the pursuit of people's individual happiness.